All right, we'll try that then.
All right. It claims we're
You
live.
ready? All right. What is today's date? The 16th, right? Isn't tomorrow St. Patrick's Day? Thank you.
Um, is it?
I think it is.
Okay.
Eric
Well,
says
then
it is.
tomorrow it
Yeah.
is.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Today is Monday, March 16th, 2026, a little after 7 p.m. We're trying to get our act together as usual. Why would today be any different than any other day? But
That's a good
welcome
question.
everybody to Rex Sisters. Thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, subscribe, and all that happy horse shit. Uh, we within the past hour. Oh, it's blizzard conditions right now. We're at 1.5 inches of snow. Yeah. Hmm.
I got blessed and did not get hit with a tornado last night with that bad storm we had.
Yes, it was. The winds were. They didn't have school today because the winds were so bad over the weekend. As you know, you and I talked, and I think we had a total of 4 trees that went down. Three really big ones. One blocked the driveway. Three went or towards the trampoline. I can't believe the trampoline didn't get knocked over. But one went across the driveway. They had to get out there with the chainsaws and get that taken care of right away.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest, I guess, they'll get as the weather gets a little bit nicer. But they anticipate the school district sent a message out saying that through Wednesday, uh, that their schools may be on modified uh, schedules because of the
Mm-hmm.
weather. So apparently, we're in for some severe storms. So
Oh yeah,
we'll
we
see
got
how bad
the
it
rain
gets.
on torrential levels last night. Like how they're
Right,
getting the snowfall, almost blizzard condition.
right.
Ours was just the liquid version of crack flakes from the sky.
Yeah,
So,
we had the rain. I had the rain all morning today because I fully expected it to snow this morning
mm-hmm.
because that's what they said was going to happen. But God, should they ever be right? Uh, so it poured. I mean, all morning. That's just rain, rain, rain. And you know me, I dislike the rain. I'd rather have snow. And well, now I have my wish. But so, other than that, before we went live, you and I were trying to decide out of the moonshine that was remaining, there was apple pie or butter pecan.
Both are good.
We are
I'll
now,
tell you that. They're both good.
well, I
I
haven't
like
tried it
them.
yet, but we picked apple pie. Hey, Blue.
Hey, Blue
We
Rose.
picked apple pie with, along with a raisin cookie. As you know, well, first off, I'm hurting terribly from surgery. So, yeah, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you were on the phone with me the entire time I was prepping in the kitchen to make dinner, were you not?
Most of the
When
time.
I finally made it to the bedroom and said, wonder where he's at,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't hear from him. 5 minutes later, he pulls up and he has grocery bags. Oh, we're going to have sandwiches for dinner. Why didn't you call me? Mm,
Because
okay,
you need to do the extra work unnecessarily.
exactly. So, well, as the way I see it, dinner's ready for tomorrow to roll. So,
That is so
whatever.
true.
I don't have
Well,
to
I
worry
did a
about
great
tomorrow
one.
now.
When it came to dinner, I told my ex husband and my son that if they did not pull up with groceries, I wasn't unlocking the door.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, they brought home fried cabbage, sausage, and onion to make fried cabbage and sausage,
Mm-hmm.
which I particularly told them to get. So it wasn't anything wild or out there. So, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
That works. That works.
I'm not too mad,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm glad they
Mm-mm.
brought home food.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like that I have to threaten them to bring home food.
Well, whatever works, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever works. However you got to get food on the table, whatever works.
Yeah, but honestly, I was not having another night of Fruity Pebbles. I had Fruity Pebbles late last night, and they were disgusting.
I
They were
don't like that.
absolutely disgusting.
I don't like that flavored cereal crap.
Hmm.
I even have issues with Honey Nut Cheerios is probably the wildest on cereal that I'll go out there for. I don't like any of that flavored crap.
I might do like a cinnamon and sugar type thing, but
Nah.
that's the most I'll ever tolerate out of
If I
cereal. And chocolate.
if
Anything chocolate is good.
no, pass on the chocolate. And if I'm gonna do cinnamon and sugar in that, that would only be in oatmeal or cream of wheat, and I would have to add that myself. Like I don't like the pre-packed. Yeah, the
Mm.
pre-packed stuff,
The pre-seasoned or
Yeah, the
pre-flavored.
yeah, the pre-flavored stuff. I don't care for any of that crap.
Mm. I can tolerate that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do fruity anything. It's just last night. It's like the dominant flavor was fake orange,
Ugh.
and I could not eat it.
And oranges are. Yeah, the dog's in here. Oh, why don't we just forget about him again? Okay, at least
Of
we checked.
course.
All right, so this apple pie moonshine tastes like this is my third. I'm going on my fourth sip, so it tastes like. Mm, tastes like medicine. It tastes like a Vicks cough medicine, or
Mm.
yeah, I don't
That's why
taste
it's
really
called a
much apple.
shot. You're not supposed to sip moonshine. You're supposed to like chug it.
Yeah, well, it tastes more like a medicinal kind of thing, like I'm taking cough medicine or something like that.
Well, that's probably because of all the alcohol they used to use in cough medicine before
Exactly.
2015
Exactly.
ish.
Uh-huh.
Because
Yeah,
heaven forbid kids should get any level of alcohol, even though it is what works best for soothing a cough. You know.
I know. I know.
Mm.
So let's try not to hijack tonight like we've done the last two nights. And I see what you have put up there.
Yeah, because
Uh
I had to make some kind of thumbnail to throw in and title.
yeah. And you did see everything that I kind of sent you in
Yeah.
your DM. That's kind
Like
of,
the DMs that what you sent over about 20 minutes, 30 minutes ago,
yeah,
about
all
what, an hour
those.
ago.
Yeah, all those were kind of like what I was leaning towards. Your thoughts?
Well, you sent them after I made the thumbnail and everything, so I can't can't help it.
Okay.
I,
So
I I thought you wanted to go over the stuff we did last week, and we had discussed that
perhaps
yesterday.
we'll,
But if
so
not,
perhaps
I
we'll
can always
do
change
them
it later.
tomorrow then. So no, we could do them tomorrow. They were just stuff that I looked at after you and I talked. So
I wasn't
if
sure
I look
what,
forward,
so that's why I have
yeah.
them already together and in the show notes in case we do cover them or not. I don't know.
Okay. I thought some of them were more important than others. Like I thought some of them were more current. So
Well, if you
if
want to
you're
cover
done,
those, tell me, and I'll pull them to the front of the tabs, and we'll go from
all right.
there.
We'll at least do Mr. Booker first, and then how about we'll pull those if you're down for that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Let me
And then we'll
move all of that stuff forward then before I start sharing the tabs.
okay.
Um, that one, and then this one, and then that one.
Sorry, people. I hijacked the show at the last minute.
Uh huh. If I
Yeah,
had more
sorry.
time or gotten them earlier in the day, I absolutely would have adjusted
Right.
for it. But since I didn't, I am kind of winging it. Nope, that's not it. That's the one right there. And then these two, I believe, are the last
Mm-hmm.
two.
The two whack jobs, right?
Yeah, I'm just making sure I get them in the right order. Okay.
Okay. All right. So we've
Oh, I gotta
had
share the screen to them.
okay. So we've
Sorry.
had this one for at least a week, probably, that we've been trying
Mm-hmm.
to get out. But
Oh,
so
you know
ahead of
what?
20.
Out of everything,
Hmm,
I forgot to link it to the OBS studio. Oh my God. There we go.
Okay.
Now they can see it. If I can get my hand to work. There we go. Now they can see it.
Okay. All right. So ahead of 2028, Senator Cory Booker plans to unveil a bill to make the first $75,000 of your income tax free. Okay.
Didn't he vote down the big beautiful bill for Trump just to turn around and do the same fucking thing with
I,
this one?
yeah, because he wants to run for president. That's why.
By
So
running on
he's trying to,
Trump's ideas.
yes,
Okay.
because it makes it look like it's a Dem idea then, right?
Yeah, but
Instead of
it's
a
not. It was
Republican
a Trump
idea. But
idea.
right, exactly. Okay, so let's check out the article.
Where's my mouse? Do I
Okay,
need to
so
enlarge or is it good?
no, I'm good. So Booker, a potential 2028 Democratic presidential candidate, told NBC News he plans on introducing a bill this week to significantly expand the standard deduction, effectively lowering taxes on low and middle income earners. The New Jersey senator's plan would set the standard deduction at $75,000 for married couples or $35,500 for individuals. That's more than double what it is today. 32 two for couples filing jointly and half that for single filers. Which really, when you think about it, it is kind of a low threshold to meet
Yeah,
for
but he's
taxes.
just really doubling what Trump put into place.
Mm-hmm.
He's just doubling it.
And he claims that it's a simple idea. American households don't pay taxes on their first $75,000 of earnings. It will have a significant impact on the average American in raising their income. Booker's bill, which he plans to formally introduce in the Senate on Tuesday, which would, I guess, be tomorrow, would have far reaching ramifications on the tax system, encouraging more Americans to use the standard deduction rather than itemize. For a head of household, his bill would set the standard deduction at $56,250. It's a sweeping plan to address a constellation of economic concerns, from high costs to wages failing to keep up with necessities like healthcare and housing. Americans are working harder and harder, and they're making less and less relative to their parents and grandparents. The economy is not working, so we need big ideas that could redeem the dream of America, Booker said.
By stealing
Wow.
Trump's initial idea. Hey, Brent.
Yeah, hey Brent.
So,
That's interesting that
he
he
literally
has a
just.
dream. Wait, he has a dream of what America is? Really?
I
Wow.
thought borders are just lines on a map.
Uh-huh.
And no one's illegal on stolen land. He's
Yeah,
starting to
Booker's
sound
up
really a lot like
really.
Trump.
Yeah. Booker's upcoming legislation can best be understood as a new idea in the mix for the next time Democrats take power in Washington. The New Jersey senator who ran for president in 2020 said his focus is on running for re-election, with his Senate seat coming before voters this fall.
By
But
stealing
he's
Trump's ideas.
uh-huh, but he's keeping the door open to a 2028 White House bid. I think personally he'd probably do better than Newsom. I'm
I think he would.
imagining,
He doesn't
Newsom's
sound
out
like an
there.
imbecile.
Yeah. I think the Democratic Party needs to become the party again of big ideas that resonate. Donald Trump has put forward a lot of big ideas. He doesn't follow through on them, but they resonated in his last election, Booker said. That would be
He
because
voted
Congress
down
doesn't.
quite a few of
Yes,
Trump's ideas.
yes. He said that he has not closed the door on 28 yet, but he's really focused now that the Democratic Party needs to not be defined by what it's against simply, but start talking about the big things it stands for.
Oh my
Okay?
God. At least he's listening to what the media is saying.
Yes. Yes. Okay, there's some bipartisan interest in the idea. The standard deduction was expanded in the 2017 Trump tax law. You mean it took Trump in 2017 to even get that increased? I forgot about that.
There was yeah,
The
it
deduction.
actually helped quite a
Yeah,
bit in 2017, but then
yeah,
Biden wanted to fuck it all up
yeah,
during his 2020 run.
right. And then again in the GOP's big beautiful bill in 2025. But the current Congress has no plans to rewrite the tax code anytime soon. And the proposal, which is guaranteed to be expensive, doesn't yet have a cost estimate. Booker said his goal is to ensure his bill is fully paid for, of course, by raising taxes on upper earners and large corporations, while closing loopholes and cracking down on tax avoidance schemes.
Oh, the
The
ones that
bill
Clinton
doesn't,
put into place? Hillary
yeah,
Clinton put into
the bill,
place?
the bill doesn't specify which provisions they are. In addition, the legislation would also boost the child tax credit to $4,320 per year for kids under 6 years old, 3,600 between 6 and 17, while adding a $2,400 baby bonus for the first year a child is born. And I'll tell you, $4,300 per year for a kid under 6 is a drop in the bucket
Of
when
what they
people are
cost.
looking for childcare. Just, if you have your kid in childcare till they go to kindergarten, you're looking at $500 plus a month to send them to
Mm-hmm.
childcare.
That's
Easy.
what, 6 months
Yeah.
of childcare
Yeah. So
right there?
5, 10, that's 5,000. So we're looking at another, what, $5,200 actually, and that's a low ball estimate.
Uh-huh.
I know people that are paying $900 a month for childcare.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people do it just for the benefits alone if you're getting health care coverage, and B, just what little money you do bring in does go to support the family.
Yeah. And that's why, when we first had kids, we worked alternating shifts.
Mhm.
One was on first or
Mhm.
second, one, and then the other was on third or second, whichever we needed to alternate. So we didn't have to pay for a freaking babysitter.
Right. Right.
But we were in jobs that allowed that
Mhm.
versus this. So, and now that I'm stuck home, and yeah, and childcare doesn't matter anymore because they're in their 20s, but still, I always
Right.
tried to find ways to where, I worked while they were in school and I was home right around the time they got off. Maybe family had them for a couple of hours at most while I was getting home, unless I was
Right.
running late. I always tried to make it to where I was there. There was a couple of times where I had jobs that had me out at 4 in the morning, and I was not
Mhm.
going to waken some family up at 4 in the morning to drop a kid off
Right.
and for them to
Right.
get them to the bus. So the kids would stay the night, and then I'd take them when I got off of work at 2 o'clock until the rest of the day, and then took them back just before like 9 o'clock at night bedtime. I made sure they had dinner
Mhm.
and were bathed, everything before taking them over. I was on top of making sure I didn't have to pay for daycare because
Yeah.
it was insane. The cost of
Yeah.
daycare for two kids with special needs.
Right.
There's no way in hell I could pull that off. And not
Exactly.
that family
I'm
was worth it
trying
either, but still.
I'm trying to remember, back then I gave my mother-in-law $100 a month to watch them, plus provided their food, diapers, all
Mm-hmm.
their clothes.
Yep.
Then, EJ turned 3. I was in the hospital being induced on his 3rd birthday, had Zach the next day. So I put EJ in preschool. So preschool, because he was potty trained and that was even less money. Now,
Mm-hmm.
and I sent them to a Catholic preschool. If we would have been Catholic and part of the parish, it would have been
Cheaper.
phenomenally way inexpensive, but it was still worth it because I carried the benefits. So it was important to have the health care coverage that in of
Mm-hmm.
itself paid for it. So, we all got to figure out what's best for each family and,
Yep.
whatever you can do to mitigate your costs, you try to do. And, you know, it's, uh, it's difficult, but, why they can't see, they won't give any kudos to Trump and let him win on any of these tax plans because they realize once all of this goes through and the economy is really pumping and people are really bringing home money in their paycheck, they're going to see the realization that, yes, whether you like Trump or not, he's put forth the idea, he's got the effort, he knows what needs to be done. And now they're taking his ideas and saying, oh, let me introduce this legislation, let me do this, let me do that. And
Mm-hmm.
anybody that's in the Republican Party that's going to vote for this, you're a rhino, and we want to primary your ass.
We've got a couple of chats I want to read really quick. Brent says in New Jersey, the average cost of childcare is $18,155 to $19,448 annually. Vanilla says they should help you out about a bit. Just kidding, jokingly. And then Blue Rose says, wait, that's why Trump is giving $1,000 a kid? No, that $1,000 is to start them on that bank account, isn't it? The tax deduction
Yes.
is usually 500 to another amount for the child tax credit.
Yeah, you get a
What was
you get
it?
a you
What was
get a
it this year?
child tax you get a child tax credit. What it's set it above, it's 4,000 or something. No,
No, it was
you'd
2,000.
have
I
to.
thought for
Yeah,
any kid under the
yeah,
age of 17.
yeah. Um, So you get a deduction for each kid you have under the age of 17. So just like you get to claim yourself and your spouse, you get to claim your child. Okay. And you get a deduction for that. In addition, you can do things like set up a flexible spending account, which has a child care component to it. And you can put your child care tax dollars that
Into
gets
that.
you don't pay taxes on it. So if you know that you're spending $18,000 on childcare, there's a limit to what that dollar amount is. I forget what it is, but you max that account out and you don't pay taxes on it. So you can
Yes.
reduce your tax burden that way. Uh, and there's various ways to do it. Different companies do different things. Some, I think, I can't remember if they stop the double dipping or not. I'd have to look
Yeah.
into it, which means if two parents were working and both of your companies offered the flexible spending account, back in the day, you used to be able to have it in both places, say in the dad's and the mom's accounts.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if they got rid of that or not. I'd have to look
I
into
never
that.
used it. And by the way, Blue, just so you know, we're not doing this as a that's what child tax credit is for. We're doing a comparison of how much you spend in a year on child care versus what you get back as a tax deduction of the
Yes.
tax credit from it. You can
Mm-hmm.
spend that on anything you frickin' want. That's your choice. We've always put it towards getting them clothing or a game or a toy that they wanted all year that was too expensive to get throughout the year. But no, tax credit is just something you get back as an assumption
At the
of how
end,
much
right.
you've put on your kids. And that is bullshit in comparison to what we've actually sunk into our kids. I'll tell you, if I would have,
Oh,
if I had saved every receipt from the day they were born going forward to how much I've had to spend on my kids, holy shit.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have paid for college, a house, and a whole bunch of things in cash if I just saved them from the time they were 20 till I was like, till they were, from the time they were born till they were 18. And now take in that the fact that it's too expensive for them to even go out and live on their own on the incomes they make. Well, my daughter's not even making income yet, but my son, even though working full time, making $13 an hour, which my dad supported a family of five on in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
13 an hour was
Mm-hmm.
really good money back then. My son makes that now and could not get a place on his own right now. There's no way he could afford it. So, yeah, that whole tax credit that they give you, that's barely enough to cover a month's worth of
Okay, so
food and diapers and
I
shit when they're newborns.
yeah, out of curiosity, out of that $13 an hour, what do you clear a week out of that?
Um, I think it comes out to like $10 an hour is cleared with after taxes.
So about you're getting $400 a week. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
that's about what he gets.
Okay, so we're talking what, 1,600 a month?
Uh huh. But there is
Between
not a place
15
in
to
that this
16,
state. There is not a place in this state that will rent to you unless you are making three times what your rent costs.
right? There's that. Plus is so,
And
you
that's
know, you're
he hasn't even
easy.
put up a
You're
401k yet or health insurance.
yeah, right. And you're not even talking, I mean, geez,
Utilities.
even a studio, yeah, utilities,
A
food,
simple two
transportation.
bedroom, one bathroom apartment here is over $1,000. A one bedroom, one bath, you're looking at 900 a month.
Yeah, it would have to be like a studio.
And even those are going for upwards of $1,000.
Hmm.
Like I
I
said,
was going to say. Hmm.
a studio and a one bed, one bath is fundamentally the same thing, except you have no walls.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Well,
there is
when
no
I
affordable
when
place he
I
could live.
when I moved out of my parents' home at 19, I cleared $150 every 2 weeks. My rent
Mm-hmm.
was 150. I have my journal book that I kept that I still have from what I paid. I paid 150 for rent. You had to pay light, gas. Back then you had to have a landline,
Uh huh.
plus my bus pass, plus clothes and food. I tell you, if it wouldn't have been that I lived so close to Eric and I could stop, I ate at his house probably 3, 4 times a week. If it wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
been for mom and dad, I probably would have been even thinner than I was.
Yeah.
I
I'll
mean,
tell you what.
and,
When
and
Danny
I
and
worked.
I first had the kids and we found our first place to live, we were paying 450 a month for a two bedroom, one bath apartment.
Hmm.
That's how much it's gone up in this area, this same
Yeah,
town, in 20 years.
yeah. I that's why I always worked a second job.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kept me, going. I mean, I didn't have a car or anything. I got around on the bus. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, my second job, I'd have to take two buses back, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was just talking with my one ex brother in law. He used to bike 20 miles one way because every time he went to take the city bus, the bike rack was always full. So
Hmm.
you just ended up having to bike 20 miles for a job and then 20 miles back because there was no bus running when the store closed. So he would
Right.
have to bike back all year round, like I used to do too, when I didn't have a car and I was going by city bus and biking everywhere. You just biked your happy ass wherever you needed to go and you just sucked it up and bundled up and left with enough time. You, I mean,
So
like,
you
that's
got
just
on the bus.
life.
You got on the bus with a bike.
When we were living in Michigan, outside of Detroit area, almost every single city bus has a bike rack that holds two bikes on the front. If your bike could not fit, you either had to chain it up or wait for the next one, or bike until you found a bus stop that had where the bus stopped and they happened to have an opening for a
Yeah, we
bike.
didn't even. That wasn't even available. That wasn't even an
Oh,
option.
I'm talking. This is back in like the 2000 teens, the early
Yeah.
2000 teens that the
Yeah.
Detroit area had bike rats on there. But again, it only holds 2 bikes. Good luck if
Right.
they're already taken.
Exactly. And
And then
which they
it's like,
usually are. Yeah.
yes. That's why I would always catch the first bus out in the
Yes.
morning before anyone could do it.
Yeah, we have near us a huge parking lot ride where people can park their cars for
And
free
park and
and get on
carpool.
the bus. Yeah, and well, they can either carpool into the carpool lane or they can pick up buses into the
Yep.
city.
They had that
So
too
that
where
all,
I was at in Michigan, but I
yeah.
never, most of the time I didn't have a car. And I really didn't need one because everything was within a 10-mile
Hmm.
radius. I can bike that no problem. I mean, hell, I was so freaking fit when I was biking everywhere. But that's because I used a mountain bike and I put it on the hardest gear. Um,
Right.
so I made sure I was getting my exercise in. But
Yep.
when everything is literally, I mean, you got all kinds of stores, pharmacies, and my work. We're all within 10 miles. And if the kids had an appointment, we just hopped a bus.
Right. And that's, I don't know how these 15-minute cities, how they plan on having them work. Uh, if you're going to be able to have a job, go
It
grocery
wouldn't be a
shopping, have your kids.
manufacturing job. There's no way they could do a
Exactly.
manufacturing job in a 15-minute
Exactly.
city.
Exactly. So what are they going to do?
They plan on outsourcing everything, and everybody's just stuck in a cubicle staring at a wall.
Right.
There's no way.
Well,
I mean, other than where we are right now, which it's considered a city. I don't know how or why. To me, it's a small town, but we have within 15 minutes multiple factories and distribution centers for different companies in town,
mm-hmm.
as well as the local stores and stuff and that you can work in. But again, unless every city is going to basically look like my small ass town, and you ain't going to be able to, you're only going to be able to put so many people in a environment like this before
Exactly.
there's a problem and there's more people homeless and hungry than working and
Uh-huh.
producing for the community. And if you
Right.
think you're going to get free housing and stuff, I got news for
You're
you.
not. You're not.
You'll
Nope,
just
you're not.
your payment will be a lead 9 millimeter or whatever size they
Uh-huh.
prefer.
Well, yeah, you're going to end up as ground meat at McDonald's.
I would
Just,
love to. I really want to see because bovine meat can sometimes be similar to human and the DNA. Well, I mean, there's DNA testing, but I really am wondering how much of that is actual or how much was it for the like fake results
uh-huh.
or how
Yep.
much is
And
contamination by just people
that, or,
handling the burgers.
yeah, right. Or is it plant-based, or what are they actually giving us? Who knows?
Yeah, but I
I'm at the
really don't
point
think
of
they're
all
actually
of it.
grinding people up and putting
Yeah.
us in
I mean,
McDonald's burgers.
we don't know that. Where'd all the homeless go in San Francisco? Where are they?
Oh, did you said something about them getting paid to falsify a petition
Well,
or
that's
something?
yeah, that's something separate. But when the Chinese came in, right,
They
for
just hit them
the
into a
big,
different part of the city. They just moved them to a different
but
part of the
where
city.
they can't find
Los
them. They can't find
Angeles.
them.
They
They
can't
can't
track
find.
any homeless people. That's the point of being homeless. They can't track you.
They
They
can't
couldn't
find
keep
them in,
track
up
of
in New
any of
York.
them.
Yeah,
I
they
know
can't
when
find them in New
Detroit
York.
had the Super Bowl coming in, they dumped them off in the surrounding suburbs. Is where they dumped all their
Mm-hmm.
homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually caught
It
on
said,
video. The Detroit police driving the homeless people out of the downtown area and dropping them in the next city out, next big city out. So
I don't know.
going from Wayne County,
You know,
across 8 Mile into Macomb County, and that's where they dumped them off. Was north of Eight
I'm
Mile.
I'm just saying, as a public service announcement, we tell children don't go to any strangers in a car or a van. I would make that same suggestion if you're a homeless adult.
It's hard to do when the cops throw you in cuffs and into the back seat and then just relocate you whether you like it or
Well,
not.
yeah, but I'm just saying, if you hear somebody say, "Hey, come here, I got some food for you, honey," or whatever, don't get in the van. Instead of little boy, I got some candy for you. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Just I'm just saying. Throw
I
out
don't
them
know.
conspiracy theories.
It might be
Just
worth taking the
I'm
candy
just
not to have to deal with society anymore.
This is true. I'm just saying, throwing out the conspiracy theories. You never know. Just as a
Uh,
public service announcement, don't get in the van, people.
yeah, I just don't trust where they're going with this stuff and how they, again, whenever
Hmm.
an area ends up clean all of a sudden, check the
Yes.
surrounding counties to see if there's any updated complaints on or newer complaints of more homeless people in an area because that's usually where they dump them. If they don't dump them straight in a lake, river, or ocean.
Now I'm like, if that happens, don't frequent any local restaurants. Hmm. I don't know. I'm getting weirder about food anyway. Stuff has been just garbage to begin with, so
I know. I hate eating
it's
out,
that. Yeah,
and I've been avoiding it as much as possible. Sadly, my family is addicted to fast food. Um,
yeah.
I had to have McDonald's the other day. I got just their plain double cheeseburger, their 2 cheeseburger meal,
Right, right.
and there was a surprise in the bottom of the bag was an extra 20-piece chicken nugget that we never ordered. It's just this big old box of chicken nuggets when we all ordered hamburgers and well, no, Danny ordered a fillet of fish.
Yeah,
So it should have been like burgers, fries, fillet of fish, and there's a 20-piece nugget in the bottom. So it's like, well, we're not going back.
right, right, right.
But no, and again, when you look at what the chicken nuggets are made of, it's the basically clean. It's been clean sawdust mixed in with chicken meat, formed into a
Hmm.
patty. So there's very
Yep,
little nutritional substance in McDonald's food
yep.
to begin with. And yeah, I
You know,
um I
it
avoid it.
it's bad enough I question the meats that we get in the store, regular meat, what we're cooking with, let
Hmm.
alone now I'm going to restaurants and I'm just really like, it's a hard pass for me. Just
Well,
give me a
I know
drink.
Brent and I were talking just Saturday. We were just talking about this was how much it costs to buy a half a cow. It's about $1,500 to $2,000
Yes,
to buy half a
yes,
cow. It's
right,
almost worth saving up. And by the way, food stamps can most certainly be used at a butcher's to buy half a cow.
right.
For those who don't
Yep.
know,
Yeah,
you
and you can even
absolutely
get a
can do that.
quarter. Yeah, you can get a quarter of a cow or certain pieces of it. Just go to the butcher and talk to
Hmm.
the butcher.
And
Yeah,
they'll
that's
take a
what.
list of people who want to buy cows, and if they find someone who
Yes,
will split it with you,
yes,
absolutely, you
yep.
now you share a cow. My dad
That's
has done
exactly
this because my aunt sells cows for beef food, any meat
okay.
like from beef.
Right,
So
right.
growing up, I we never had to buy hamburger from the store. We just once a year buy half a cow for my aunt,
Oh, yep,
have it processed, or just get the meat and we process it at home,
yes,
wrap it in butcher's paper, slap a date on it, and toss it in the deep freezer.
yep.
Buy half
Same
a
way you
pig.
can a pig too. Yep,
Yep, if
that's
you
what
want
we plan
pork.
on doing. Yep, that's what we plan on doing this summer. And don't forget, pork offends your Muslim brotherhood, so you want to be careful of that.
It's not just them. Jewish people also don't eat pork.
Yes, I'm just saying right now the hot and heavy ticket is in the Muslim communities because they're
Too
serving
bad.
pork in restaurants. Yeah,
Yeah.
too bad, too sad.
No,
So
there was
sad.
actually I was just watching a video about this Indian or person. They are Sikh in by religion and beliefs and all that. They would
Hmm.
not sell halal meat. And
Right?
guess who got arrested after all the death threats and rape threats and all kinds of threats against the store owner? Guess who got
The
arrested?
owner, the store owner.
In the UK, yes.
Why?
Because they would not sell meat or halal meat to the other Muslim people, the Muslim people in their community.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's coming. It's here in America, people. Wake up.
makes me
The
love
country's
pork even more
changing.
from Brent. Yeah, he got arrested in the UK. Yep, Vanilla heard it too.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
getting insane where I qualify. I run a business that handles all kinds of meats, whatever. You want halal? Here's a cute little corner for you. The rest
Yeah.
of it, there it is. Actually, I went to we used to have a butcher's market not far from where we lived. It was run by Middle Easterners who were Muslim. They had their halal corner, and then they had all the other meats that were not halal, and they had no problem selling it to us. Tell me
Wow.
how it changed since 2019, 2021
So now, yep,
till now. It changed that
5,
much.
right. While I was doing, they were saying statistically, when the tipping scale hits 16% of a foreign national coming in, that at 16% is when the tipping scale usually happens, and expectations on whoever the host country is will be expected to make changes to bend the knee to their will.
But here's the thing is
So,
we've made accommodations. We allow halal departments in the grocery stores and stuff. We've
mhm,
given a lot to make it a balanced living environment. That was not good enough for these extremists, the extremists of the group,
correct,
who are now pushing for a complete takeover. For
right, because
generations, it was not a
yeah,
problem being in a balance.
yes, because now you're seeing people on TikTok, people on X saying things that, oh my gosh, I go into the store and what is it? Well, pork, 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 pork. That's all I see. I don't see anything else but pork. You're putting it in our face, and guess what? It's racist. And so
Bite
these,
me.
yep, these companies, even places like Walmart, they're being taken to court and being told that they're racist in their what they're doing, how they're handling
Okay,
things.
my Walmart has an even amount of chicken, and then the next section says pork, and then the third section says beef. And then there's a smaller section for
I
like
love
lamb and goat and
COVID.
whatever else.
Yep.
Our meat is pretty well divided up.
Yeah, it is.
How is that racist?
And I think there's a pretty decent amount of you know, the differences.
Yeah,
If pork offends you, just like the word fuck does, go buy it. You know
go
what I
walk
mean?
away.
Just walk on by, close your eyes, put your hand
Seriously,
up.
I walk by things that annoy me. Okay, I see the trans kids' clothing designs and all that stuff and the push for that.
Yeah,
You know what I
that
do?
bothers me.
I walk right by it. I don't pay it no attention and I don't buy it. For fuck's sake, that is part of assimilation into a culture, whether you like them or not. You tolerate their
But
existence and you just keep going.
but I'll bring this up. So we know that it's Ramadan, right? And an interesting thing happened. I don't know. They were supposed to go up with around 8 o'clock to check to see if they're still there, if they're there today or not. But
Mm-hmm.
I told you about the mosque that's near me that's has been under FBI surveillance in the past due to its proximity to get to 4 interstates within minutes, right?
And there's probably a couple
And
of potential terrorists or radicals going there.
right, and we've already had a terrorist episode, which the idiots made contact with undercover detectives and
Gotta love it when
FBI
they're so
people.
stupid.
Yeah,
But yes.
they were gonna bomb a church, but they had a police vehicle sitting outside the mosque, right outside their front door with the lights on. Now, that's the second night that they've been there. I don't know if there's an incident that is occurring, but my concern would be, because of all of this that we know that's going on, is I hope to God that the taxpayers aren't paying for some type of security for them.
I do believe it would be security and potential
Yeah,
retaliation for something someone else in that race or culture did from some other area. Um, that they would think that there might be a retaliation. And, forever, like, as
Okay,
much as there
so
may be 1,000 people who visit that mosque daily, maybe
right,
13% might actually have nefarious intentions, and the rest are just average American type people going about their day and just going there out of habit, like so many go to the Catholic Church out of habit, or they go
right. So
to
why?
various churches.
But I'm not seeing police presence outside my church. I'm
Well,
not seeing them
because
outside.
when's the last time someone tried bombing a Christian church recently?
Well, that was a while ago, but who knows?
Like we
You
said
know.
about the abortion bombings, can't use it when it's that far back. So in recent history, it's just there's not been any direct attacks. Oh, well, no, I take that back. There have been shootings in Christian churches and stuff too, and synagogues. So all religions should have some kind of security.
But that should be on their payment. They should have to pay for that, and it
Um,
shouldn't be.
Churches
It
don't pay
shouldn't.
tax dollars, so that's just standard community gathering, which is local police's responsibility.
Well, I have an issue with it. We'll see
Yeah,
how long it goes on.
because those religious communities don't pay taxes on the church property and any income it makes off of tithes, offerings, donations. They don't
Right.
pay taxes on that, so technically it's just a civilian
And
courtesy
then
gathering.
maybe
Not.
maybe it's time we change it for
Oh,
our
I've been saying
religion
that since
that
those mega
they,
churches started popping up in the 80s.
yeah, that they have to pay for their own security. Why am I footing the bill for any of you? You know what I mean? I don't care what religion it is, my own church included. It should be the responsibility of that of the
I like that one church down here in the South where the congregation was armed and they took out the guy who came
there
in
you
and
go.
started shooting the place up.
There you go.
I am absolutely for the
Hmm.
congregation being armed. And that synagogue in Dearborn, or 30 miles away from Dearborn, whatever the difference is, wherever it was in Michigan, it was their
Yeah.
armed security. They hired security because evidently it
Yeah.
had gotten so bad. They actually
Yeah,
did
that's
have their own private security.
yeah,
And he's who took out the jackass who tried blowing it up, who didn't fuse his bomb correctly in his car that he drove through the building.
good God.
Armed security took him out. This is why I like armed civilians. We can
Right.
respond faster than the police in
Then
appropriate
yeah, waiting
situations
for
if
the
you're
police.
properly
Right.
trained. Keep
Right.
up with your training. I'm not
Hmm.
saying don't ever call the police. Call the police, but do what you got to do to protect people in the meantime. And make sure you're
Right.
not shooting at somebody else who's already trying to shoot too. You know,
Yep.
feel out your surroundings before you start doing anything. But
Hmm.
yes, obviously don't run in right away. They always say run, hide, then figure out how to fight back. That is
Hmm.
the proper escalation you should use. To me, it's called common sense. To others, it's
Right.
not.
Right.
But common sense is you get as many to safety as you can, you assess the situation, you barricade those who cannot fight, and those who can fight back.
Hmm.
That's the way, to me, common sense. It's literally, but like I said, and so I see nothing wrong with constitutional carry, which they are absolutely trying to push in Congress and through the Supreme Courts. I like it, but
Right.
that
But
doesn't
we
mean
have
everyone's got the legitimate brains to actually carry a gun.
yeah, and Virginia is actually trying to pass an amendment on carry, concealed carry, right?
Hmm.
That it's going to be against the law to have concealed carry
But that
permits.
is going completely against the Constitution, unless they're
Right.
banning the
However,
no here. But again,
wait, let me
I
finish. Let me finish.
okay.
Hold on. Here's the rub, though. There's one exception for who can carry, and that's the people in the Virginia State Congress and the House and the Senate.
Oh,
They'll still
okay.
be allowed to carry to protect themselves, but
Yeah,
normal
no,
citizens won't be
no.
able to.
That's when you end up having your dictators. They're
Right.
all allowed to carry. You, the peon, are not.
Mm-hmm.
See, my area wants to get rid of the permits for carrying so everyone can carry and you don't have to go through that extra step. As long as you are not a criminal and you are over the age of 21, you should not need a permit to exercise your Second Amendment right.
I agree with that. However, that's a
There are
money
some people
maker.
who are still
So,
stupid.
right. And plus, it's a money maker. Anything
Mm-hmm.
that's tied to a permit, a license, whatever,
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
money maker. And
Yeah,
they're not
I'll
going to want to get rid of
tell
it.
you, I had to spend $200 in Michigan to get my permit. And then on
Mm-hmm.
top of that $200 for all the filings and all that, I had to pay to get the classes to
Right.
pay to get you had to take the classes, then go do the permit. So you're paying the
Yep.
100 something for the class and then 200 for the permit paperwork. And if you
Yep.
get rejected for that permit, you have to you could try again if long as if it was like a clerical type error where you typed something wrong or filled it out wrong.
Okay.
You have to refile, repay the fees. Now if you falsified it, you're going to prison. If you end up with something coming back on your background check, you are going to get rejected until that's cleaned up, and then you got to refile. And oh, by the way, you have to renew that every 5 to 6 years. I know they've been changing it up, but yeah, you
Right.
have to renew that. So that's $200 every so many years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Same here.
I don't like that. That's a
It's
freaking
all about
fortune.
it's all about the money.
And see, that's why I like my state. As much as my state has a idiot for a governor, it seems like all the counties except the big city areas like Louisville and Knoxville and a couple other places, we're all very sane based common sense people.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Right.
have the majority of the state. So the big cities, tough shit. That's where we
Oh,
happen to outnumber them. Because we only have
right.
like 4 major big cities in the entire state. I think it's
Right.
Paducah, Louisville, Elizabethtown, Lexington are kind of right next door to each other. Then Knoxville, and I think Bowling Green is our third largest city out of all of those big cities.
Wow.
So it's like when our third largest city, you can drive through the one end of the city to the other in with moderate traffic in about 20 minutes.
You
That's
know
our third
there's
biggest city.
yep, yep.
So yeah, like I said, our state is the red outnumbers the blue here. So
Yeah.
I'm not so concerned about it. But what I am liking is that there are representatives from constitutional carry states pushing for a nationwide constitution, not nationwide reciprocation of permits. No, no, no. They want you can cross state lines without a permit under constitutional carry because the Second Amendment does not say jack shit of what depending on what the state says, depending on if you're this age or this, that, the other. Yeah, they've just a lot of the states have had it with this shit. So it's going good,
All right.
hopefully. Anyways,
Okay. What do you got up next for us?
you sent this over because we were talking about it just before we went live. Well, just before
Yeah.
I went to go get dinner. And
Yeah, this is I'm going to be curious to see how bad this spreads, but this is over in the UK, and having an outbreak of meningitis is almost unheard of today. And Crazy Bee kind of had a weird theory about why that could possibly have happened. Do you want to share that with us
yeah, well,
as
for
to why?
starters, most people in the UK and in America have been vaccinated for meningitis. It's a
Right?
one of the routine vaccines we get throughout childhood and into our teens. However,
Mm-hmm.
people in the Middle East do not get these vaccines as frequently or if at all in some cases. And when you move
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of people in who are not vaccinated for the same illnesses as you are, and you decide your kids don't need vaccines because everyone else is immune and it's all good and safe until this shit happens. Now,
Right. So this is very
yeah.
similar to we had that huge measles outbreak that
Mm-hmm.
happened in Texas, that spread across the country, which they I think they pretty much held that at bay. If I recall correctly, it popped up in the northeastern areas. A couple of them cases did, but it could have been a whole lot worse if or not that most of the citizens in the United States are vaccinated against measles.
Mm-hmm.
So this is as you said, a case of they're letting people into the country, not vetting them, not knowing what their health history is. And so we got 2 dead people in the city of Kent, I believe it is. Is that correct?
It's from University of Kent in the UK. I'm not sure exactly. Oh, Canterbury. Canterbury.
Canterbury. Okay.
Sorry. And I know
So,
I'm saying it wrong, British people. I don't have a British accent.
well, maybe you could gather one up for next
I
time.
can
So,
barely speak an English accent, American English accent.
So we had 2 people died following an outbreak of meningitis, including one student at the University of Kent. BBC Southeast understands that a further 11 people from Canterbury area are currently in the hospital. And that is highly contagious, isn't it?
Meningitis is usually
Isn't it
passed by
contagious?
saliva and other bodily fluids, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So
Uh,
coughing would then cause droplets to hit others. So
okay. It's understood that most are aged between 18 and 21, and that a number of the students are at the university. Both people who had died had an invasive meningitis outbreak, are believed to be between 18 and 21. One of them confirmed was a student. There's more than 30,000 students in the university settings. Their families, students, and staff were contacted to inform everybody about the situation. Meningitis is an infection of the protective membranes that surround the brain and spinal cord and can be serious if not treated urgently. Crazy Bee, I didn't look up uh, how significant of a disease is this?
oh,
Is this
it
would
will kill you. It will
I
absolutely
know,
kill
but
you.
is it is it is it the similar like you think you have the flu, or is this an extremely painful disease, or
Well, they actually
I don't know
list
it.
this down here, and yes, it can
I have all
appear.
those symptoms, so I guess I have meningitis. I don't know.
It's again, it appears as any other infection but it progress rapidly,
Okay.
and it I mean, like when my son ended up with sepsis, we originally thought it was meningitis. He had to go through a
Mhm.
spinal tap at a year and a half old.
Mhm.
Because there was concern that it was meningitis with how high his fever was, the blotchiness of his skin, the constant screaming. Tylenol and Motrin were not bringing him any relief. I mean, he was running 105 fever with Tylenol and Motrin in his system. So,
Wow.
yeah, it is something that you take in seriously. If your kid is running a fever and medicines are not helping, take them to the ER just to be safe. It's better to be safe than sorry.
And I'd say that it would include an adult as well.
Yes.
Your kids in particular, but your elderly uh, relatives, it's important. I mean, I have presented sepsis talking in a normal, like if you didn't know me, you would have thought there was nothing wrong with me. I carried on an
Mm-hmm.
entire conversation. It was only by the insistence of Eric that they kept me, and they put me in a room only to call him at 4 a.m. and said, "Get in here. She's dying. She's going to be dead before you get here." And I spent 9 days in a coma. That was the 2023 incident, and that was the 4th coma I've been in. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
The
sometimes
the
it's
presentations,
bizarre.
yeah, yeah. That so if you know like your loved one isn't acting correctly, or you know that the fever, like Crazy Bee said, the kids are, Tylenol and Motrin hasn't brought down 103 temperature after so long. You're better off take them to the ER. The same with your
Actually,
grandparents.
with elderly
Go ahead.
patients, one of the first signs of a urinary tract infection is confusion. Not even a
Mm-hmm.
fever, not even before they even say, "Ow, it burns to pee." If your elderly grandparents or parents are showing signs of confusion, one of the first things they check for is a UTI,
Right.
because that's usually the first dead giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be other infections of some sort, but usually the first go to is check the urine,
Right.
because it
And
could
a
be something simple.
Yeah, and a UTI can turn into something deadly. So,
Yes, it can. That's another thing. You can turn sepsis from a UTI.
yep.
And we never did figure out what was caused my son to end up septic. He did not have a UTI. He did not have any open cuts, and the bacteria they found was actually from what would be on the outside of the skin, getting in through an either indwelling catheter or an indwelling IV. Long term,
Right.
they found that in his bloodstream somehow. No clue how it got there. They checked him over
Wow.
top to bottom, could not figure it out. Absolutely bizarre.
Hmm.
So, yeah, but Vanderbilt
So crazy.
Nashville took care of him.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So, Crazy Bee has the list of symptoms there, which these symptoms they have, that could be anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure in combination, or, two or more or whatever, uh, just pay attention. Um, We haven't had any cases hit the US that we're aware of, but the fact that it's in the UK, I would venture to say just wait a couple days,
Well, again,
a week or two.
they might be able to contain it. Probably not. But
Mm-hmm.
you can bet that there's going to be doctors pushing for vaccines more than ever.
Yes.
And this is one that, again, my kids have been vaccinated for it. I've been vaccinated for it. This is again one of the many vaccines I support. Even though there may be some problems for it, I still support it because it's more likely to help than cause worse problems compared
Right.
to getting meningitis. Okay,
Right.
like it's worth the risk in my book. I can understand why some people are adverse to it. There are some vaccines I don't support. I think that they're overkill. I think they're doing too much or too frequently. It should be spaced out a little bit, or at least give the body a chance to
Well,
fight it at some point if it's a weaker one.
it's interesting that you say all of that, because do you have handy that piece with RFK and the judge?
Yes, I do. It
Yeah,
was
that I think
the last
I
one,
think
I believe.
Yeah, I think that actually is a good segue into this, right?
Let me, oops, hold on. Let me go back here, blind them while I find it so they don't have to go through everything we're going through. Let me find that piece. Um, I can't remember which one. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Was it this one? Nope, not
No,
that
do you want me
one.
to? I could probably resend it to
Oh,
you.
no, I already have it up here. It's just where the hell did I
Oh,
put it? Um, I know I have
no.
it up here. I gotta just find it. I had it open for when we were covering it.
You just
Um,
happened to say that, so made
yeah,
it such a good segue. No, that's
I
not it.
I know I have it up here. Where the fudge is it? Nope. Okay, let me go grab it from the links really fast. I swear I
Okay.
had it available, but evidently not. Um, my hands. Oh, for Pete's sake, is it really that hard to highlight and then copy? Oh my God. My hands don't love me today, folks. I'm so sorry. It's taking so long. Um, go right. There. Stop. Hands. Please. Work. My God, my hands. Oh, that's because it was a Google search, not any. Oh,
No,
that's why. Oh my God,
no,
that's
that's
why.
not it. That's
No,
not it.
I gotta grab the video.
No, it's
Hold on.
a X post.
It says on here that the link is a YouTube post.
Really? Hold on a
Yeah,
minute.
the one
One
you sent.
moment, please.
The one you sent
One
me a
moment,
couple
please.
days back. Was actually a YouTube post.
Are you doing this
Yeah,
podcast
this was
then?
today.
Yes.
I'm gonna pee on
Oh,
back.
did you send one today?
Yep.
I don't recall seeing it.
I thought I did. Hold on.
No.
Here it is, right here.
Okay, drop it and I'll put it up. Because I do have a
Yes,
YouTube
ma'am.
video for him. I just didn't drop it into the browser. Ironically. Well, unironically.
Well, hold on, because that don't want to let me do it that way. One moment, please, while I try to pull this back up. And here we go. Yeah, we got another activist judge on our hands,
Oh,
people.
that one!
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Yes, I do have it. I'm sorry. I do have that one.
Okay.
I just stupidly didn't realize it was that because I put it something else. I described it as basically a judge being a
Something
dipshit.
different.
Because I didn't
Okay.
really look at it. I just read what it was basically saying in the description and that you sent over. So here we are. Now they can see.
Okay, so basically what Crazy Bee was talking about was the vaccine schedule and how we get vaccines and when we shouldn't. Well, as we know, we talked about this previously several weeks back where RFK Jr. is recommending that the schedule for vaccinations for children changes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, a Biden activist judge by the name of Brian Murphy, he just struck down RFK Jr.'s move to recommend fewer vaccines for young children. I am frickin' flabbergasted that a judge gets to determine what I don't even know what I
What
am
is
just
what
totally
you think or what your doctor may think is best for your kid?
correct. The judge also unilaterally struck down Kennedy's deciding who serves on the advisory committee on immunization practices.
Well, it shouldn't be no pharmaceutical rep.
Right. So I don't know. I didn't listen to the video on this Crazy Bee. I don't know if this is just a
Well, it's a 6-second clip. It might
yeah.
have
So that
something or it might not.
okay. Let's play it.
Oh, it's just showing him.
Okay.
Okay.
So I let's click on that Crazy Bee and see what some of the comments are that are made.
Time to end judicial coup.
Mm-hmm.
Bring up impeachment articles.
Right.
I'm not reading Grok.
No, but back up. I want to see that. It says over 650 Trump admin policies have been challenged. It supersedes any other admin in history by quite a distance. You cannot run an administration like this. Also, where is the funding coming from for 650 lawsuits? Some that are going to SCOTUS. Okay?
I would
So,
say that is the Democrat Party using tax dollars and donation money to fund it. Our tax
exactly.
dollars and donation money to anyone who donates to the Democrats, they're getting their money's worth and then some. But
Yeah.
those of us who
We
like to
knew,
use common sense and middle ground, yeah.
right. We knew when Trump took office that they already had 185 lawsuits ready to roll as soon as he walked in the door. How is this acceptable? How do you run a country, a department, a business when you have all of these?
The Senate
Yeah,
and half the representatives are in filing court lawsuits. Yeah.
Yes. All right. What else you got? So this is the judge,
Mm-hmm.
Brian Murphy.
Yep. It's time to start impeaching the lot of them.
Yeah.
Not honestly, it bothers me. This is what both houses are allowing to happen in our country. They have the power to fix this, but will you? I don't know if they can actually prevent the parties from passing lawsuit without it becoming overstepping the rights of the state senators and representatives who are supposed to be representing their constituents.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they can. The speaker and the leader of the House are allowed. The leader of the Senate are supposed to do that.
Can do anything.
I don't know whether that will then start becoming a top-down dictatorship at that point. We
Right.
still have to have the right to sue because it could backfire on us in 20 years when the Republicans need to sue the living shit out of someone for being a dictator. And oh, wait, by law, now they can't.
Well, the problem is I've yet to see the Republicans get up off their ass and do anything.
Yeah, it's been a while. There are tons of government watchdog groups on both sides. There is no shortage of money available, from what Art was saying, and that's what makes sense. Yep.
Right.
We hear about George Soros all the time.
Right.
Ignore the judge, zero jurisdiction. I don't know how true that is. He is part of a Supreme Court, isn't he? Or is he just, yeah, he's an elected judge.
Federal. He's federal.
He is a federal.
I believe.
Yeah, so federal judge may potentially, well, he has the jurisdiction for his area.
No, he's made, and that's been one of the complaints, is that these federal judges are making decisions that are now affecting not only their area, but the entire country. So they're doing these blanket type pieces where he hasn't said, well, you can't put out the new schedule just in the state of, DC, in DC or Virginia or Pennsylvania, wherever. It's across the whole country.
Yeah.
It's the statement. Who is one judge to make that determining factor? Based on what?
Well, supposedly based on federal laws.
So he probably got pressure. He probably got pressured by some pharmaceutical company.
Yeah. It's possible. Or maybe he just wants to be an ass and not let Trump's agenda go through. And again, I think there should be a decent in-depth study into this before we make changes. I honestly was not expecting changes to be in the first few years. I figured it would take about 10 years to do the research, reformulate, refigure the schedule, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that they've known all along what the schedule
it's possible.
Should be.
It's possible, but if they haven't done research into reformulation, that's going to take time.
Yeah.
They know that some of these components may be dangerous, but instead of putting research into reformulating them, they just keep pushing them. And I think it's time, especially now that we know so much as we do, and we have found so many new things we can use instead of the old things. Why aren't we checking those out more?
Right. And it seems like we can't, like we're stuck in the past and we can't make any momentum forward.
But they had no problem allowing mRNA gene therapy to be used as a vaccine with no warning and no notice and no mass human trials. Yep. I'm not making anything other than a statement of comparison for YouTube. For YouTube's sake, I'm stating this. I am just comparing the difference between the administrations. Okay, they had no problem jumping into gene therapy as a vaccine, which had never been done on humans before. Right. Which we know for a fact, I'm not lying, but they're having hesitations about allowing us to revisit the schedules and formulas for vaccines that have been unchanged for over 50 years. So,
for example, this is my personal experience YouTube, so as well as my family. So my youngest son, who lives in New York, has had every motherfucking COVID shot, update, vaccine, whatever. Okay. And he almost died from
Mm-hmm.
what I believe to be COVID related. We'll just leave it at that. But then so he's had everything under the sun. So then and that was pushed upon him, okay? And then you take somebody like the baby, who they do not want to give all of these shots to, one after, going on one visit and
They just
getting
wanted to
5
space it out a
shots.
little bit.
Yes, they wanted to space it out.
He was still going to get the full
And
schedule.
right. They just wanted him to have time in between shots instead of getting 5 at one time and overloading the system and perhaps causing a potential issue. And basically, we're told you're either going to do it our way or you could leave the practice. And there's
I would have
nowhere to
left the
go.
practice.
There's nowhere to go.
In a city
They're
that
all
big,
under the
there's.
same.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah. I can understand that. See.
So at what point do we get to say there's got to be a happy medium in between? How are you saying that you're not going to look at something that has been in place since, the 50s, the 60s of a
Okay.
schedule, and you're not?
When these vaccines were created, asbestos was still used to insulate
Yes,
and weather protect.
yes,
We've changed our stance on asbestos
right.
and lead. Lead paint was in a lot of our toys and our
Yes,
homes.
yes, ma'am.
But we can't revisit the vaccines.
Right. Because
Okay.
why? Because it's a moneymaker.
No, because they probably don't want us really knowing what's in them. We get a list provided by the pharmaceuticals of what's in it and who checks what to make sure it's correct. Oh, the CDC?
Right.
Yeah. The FDA? Uh-huh. They're the same
Yeah.
ones who allow us to have McDonald's food and half the
Right.
drinks and foods we have in America. Right
Right.
now, candies that have abnormally high levels of arsenic, according to Florida's study, but I have still yet to see the actual study. They have not released
Right.
it.
Right.
But, I mean, if you think about what's in the food we eat average,
Yes. Is it
how
any
many
reason why we're sick?
contaminants? Why is
Right.
McDonald's allowed to saturate their lettuce in antifreeze that is also used in cars? Same antifreeze, rinsed off, and then shipped out to give to you.
Right.
Well, I don't think it's exactly the same as in a car, but it's an antifreeze. If
Right.
something is not, I mean, the only things that are not supposed to freeze are liquor and dry. Well, dry ice is frozen. What's the other one? There's another substance that comes naturally that doesn't freeze. It stays liquid. Oh fuck, I can't remember it now. But alcohol, especially some of the stronger alcohols, will not freeze, no matter how long you
Right.
leave it in your freezer.
Right.
So there are a handful of
And I know
things that are safe
I
to
know
digest,
I know that to be factual.
but yet the salads and the lettuce on your burgers from the fast food joints and your local restaurants have been dunked through an antifreeze to keep it fresh enough for them to use for you because of the logistics of traveling and where some of this
Right.
food has to come from. They need it to be
Uh-huh.
preserved for fresh to make it across the United
Right.
States.
Yeah,
That's
like
safe,
if
but we can't
you
revisit this.
right. Somebody just go and Google uh start to finish the lifespan of your eggs, right?
You're better off
You'll
just
be
getting them from a
shocked.
chicken and leaving them on your counter.
Yeah, you will
You
be
don't gotta
shocked at
refrigerate
how much
eggs.
you'll be shocked at the from the time that chicken lays that egg till you pick it up at Walmart or your local grocery store, how
It's like
long
three
it
months
has.
old already.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Close to it.
And you're paying an arm and a leg for it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can take scraps of food from around your house and various other things to make chicken feed and feed your own damn chickens.
Mm-hmm. If you can do it.
And have your own eggs. And yeah, don't
Yep.
wash them or anything until you're about to use them.
Yep.
So anything on it, it'll stay good for what, a month or two on the counter
Longer
or
than that.
longer without
Yeah.
having to be
Put it
refrigerated.
correct. That's correct.
Hmm. I couldn't remember because I was raised on refrigerated
Yeah.
eggs for the most part,
Yeah.
or you just go out and get what
I
eggs you're
have.
grabbing for the
Yeah.
morning and you eat them.
I'd have. Yeah, I'd have to look it up. But when we first, the chickens are going into, I think, year 6. So when he
They're getting
first
old.
got them, yeah, he had about 18 of them, and I had a 5-gallon one of those paint buckets from
Hmm.
Home Depot filled with eggs. I
What are
was
you going to
egged
do with
out of
that
my
many eggs?
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was egged out of my mind, girl.
Well, you know what you could have done is cracked them open into a Ziploc bag of some sort and froze them in the
And you can
freezer.
freeze, yeah, you can freeze them. You can make glass eggs out of them. There's all types of things you can do with them. I mean, trust me, we used them and found I was egged to death, but
You
again,
find
remember,
reasons to. You can also give them to family, friends,
yeah,
family
that's what
and
we did.
friends, and
Hmm.
whatever.
Yep,
If you want to deal with the potential of your local health department, you could try opening a roadside stand, but that
that's
in a lot of
well, yeah,
areas does not go
yeah,
well. I mean, the hell
right,
they're
Jacob.
sending the health department to kids' lemonade stands these days.
I
It's
know,
not the right cold temperature. It's a kid. It's lemonade. Drink that shit and
right,
shut up and go home. Give them their 25 cents.
exactly.
Sorry, bite me.
But it is this whole schedule, the what they push on us, and listening to a Bill Gates, you know, uh, and his group talking about they can't, they're jonesing, they're salivating for the next big thing to hit us, and uh, I don't know. It's either I'm going to be strong enough to get through it, or I'm going to die. I'm not doing any of these vaccines or any of this bullshit.
I'm at the
You
point
know,
where if
I.
I die, I die. That's my choice.
Hmm.
My kids are old enough to
And
live without me. My daughter's got at least the financial common sense. She's just going to have to get over fear of answering phone calls and talking on the phone and talking to people.
right,
That's all there is to it. She can pick up what I do, handling the finances and paying the bills.
right.
All the information's on my computer if they're capable of figuring out my password. Okay, so I might need to actually put some of this information in a notebook somewhere.
Yep.
Because heaven forbid.
Should something happen. Yep.
Yeah, okay. But I'll make sure it's in place before I die. We'll put it that way. Art
Yeah,
says
I
there are
keep.
two types of glycols. Ethanol is poisonous. Propylene glycol is food safe. Both are used in engine coolants. Propylene glycol is mostly in racing because of potential crashes. Yeah, they don't want it blowing up. Yeah.
Right, right.
And I believe it is the propylene. I mean, propylene glycol is in my nicotine for my vape.
It's
Yet
in a lot of things. It's in a lot of things.
Yet, this is supposedly more dangerous than a cigarette with over 1,000 ingredients, many which are known carcinogenics.
Mm-hmm.
But the main ingredient in my nicotine juice for my vape pen is propylene glycol or vegetable glycerin.
Go figure.
Those are the two main ingredients. Because I do like a 60-40 or 50-50 split between the two for the nicotine
Right.
juice I use. Um, yeah, and then there's fruit flavoring, which is basically your food flavoring that you would put in juices, cookies, jello, and
Right.
nicotine. Nicotine is the third ingredient in my nicotine juice. And guess where they get that? Not just a tobacco plant. They get it from potato peels, they get it from bell peppers, they get it from all kinds of things. Nicotine is
Mm-hmm.
found naturally. We concentrate it and use it in various things. Because tobacco leaf alone, like you just go grab a tobacco leaf, you cut it up and you wrap it in a paper, it has very little actual nicotine in it. Winston's do not, when I was trying to, Danny bought me a pack of Winston's. This was 20 something years ago. And it was like smoking nothing. There was not enough nicotine in it. They actually concentrate nicotine and put it into tobacco to make the cigarette stronger. That, like your Marlboros and all those, have added nicotine to them because the tobacco plant itself has so little nicotine actually in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, nicotine, like caffeine and everything else, very addictive. I'm going to add it right in there as a disclaimer. Very highly addictive. So our sea salt caramels, oh my God, especially from what used to be Morley's, is now called Sanders. Those suckers are so addictive, but at $16 a pound, I just can't afford them. Oh
Right.
my God. Those are highly addictive, even more so than my nicotine. I would take the sea
Right.
salted caramels and dark chocolate over my nicotine. But, we're not allowed to say that. So just
Right.
don't, just so you know, it's like highly addictive, really delicious, sweet, smooth, stringy caramel
Stop.
that.
Stop. I'm gonna want some. Let's go. Move on. I'm hungry again. Move
I'm just
on.
saying all kinds of things are
I know.
addictive.
Move on. I need some dark chocolate now. Okay. Move on. What's next? What's
Sorry.
next?
Art says, relax, B. Most stuff only causes cancer in California. If you don't live there, you don't plan to visit, you're fine.
You're fine.
Yes, there's our community note for
There
the
you go.
video.
There's our
Self-imposed
disclaimer.
community notes.
Yes. Yep. That's
Um,
funny.
Next up, you sent this over. I'm sorry.
Oh, this is a wild one. You want to
I had
read
to be
that? Go
goofy.
ahead.
Um,
Go ahead.
so, a bunch of teens flooded DC's upscale Naval Yard neighborhood, sparking fights, robberies, gunfire, and what officials described as juvenile takeover. How about unruly
Really?
delinquent brats? Where the fuck are the parents?
How about a riot? It's not a juvenile takeover.
It's a
It isn't like
delinquent
a little.
riot
It's a riot.
of
I don't care
delinquents.
what. Yeah, I don't care what age they are. It's a riot. When you're describing fights, robberies, and gunfire, and it's just a little takeover.
Oh no, listen to this next sentence. Former Biden White House advisor Yemisi Agbelwol, I can't pronounce that, warned that blue cities need to wake up, saying tolerating this behavior is unfair to both the residents and the kids involved. No, the kids get
Okay.
exactly what the fuck they deserve as long as you punish them. Who in their fucking right mind is tolerating this shit? And why are these judges letting them off easy with a slap on the wrist? Child, you do this again, you're looking at 6 months in jail, 6 months to a year in juvie. Right now you're on probation. Don't escalate this shit.
Okay, so hit the video. Does it have sound to it? I don't
Oh my,
remember.
I'm so sick of fucking kids doing federal, like, what would be a federal offense for an adult is probation for a teenager.
Right.
Yeah, police need to
Okay, so
arrest and
see
whoop the
this
shit
right
up out
here
of
on the
these kids.
corner? Okay, you see
Yeah,
this shit on the corner?
that's called a
So
fight.
okay, it isn't a fight. It's an out and out aggravated assault. So we're stomping on people's heads. We're kicking them in the chest. We're punching them. This is cause for irreparable harm.
Well,
This
wasn't there that
person,
one girl who was like 12 years old, had a water bottle thrown at her across the room, and she ended up dying from swelling of the brain?
something like that, yeah. And then remember the pregnant mother that was with her 3 kids? Remember the black woman that was coming home from school and the teens attacked them? We
Uh-huh.
showed that video. Yeah. This
Mm-hmm.
is irreparable damage. This is PTSD bullshit. When you have somebody over you and they're tromping on your head with their shoes.
I mean,
This
back
is
in the
like
90s, that was a common thing. It was called curb stomping, but we're not going to
this
go into
little
the
mother
details.
these little motherfuckers should be in jail.
Yes, they should.
And God forbid, don't be my child, please.
Oh, if this was my kids, all hell would no. They'd have a sore rear end. They'd be grounded from everything under the sun, and that's if I didn't haul them into the police department myself and have them arrested.
I've had my son arrested before, twice. Once when he was 12 and once when he was 20 some years old. Don't fuck with me. I'll
Mm-hmm.
have him arrested again if necessary. I'd
See,
have my grandchildren arrested if it
I
taught
got
them a
blessed
lesson.
with children who have social anxiety, so I'll never have to worry about them doing this.
Yeah. I
Uh,
would kill. They don't even fucking show up at the house. Just call me where you're living and I'll might consider sending your shit to you.
yeah.
This who you know what? The fact that you don't have control under your over your child and that your child has the wherewithal to do this, you're a fucking poor parent and a poor person as a human being.
My
I'm
kids were
sorry.
not allowed to go out when it was dark. They were
Yeah.
not allowed to go by themselves
What
anywhere
day did this
once the
happen?
sun was set.
What day did this happen? This was
Um,
posted today, but was it Saturday or Sunday?
I don't
We
know.
don't
I
know.
don't really follow the news that much, but this was
Uh,
posted
it
today.
was posted today. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see the comments, Crazy B.
You're being treated poorly by police. Have you tried not breaking the laws to see if that helps? Hold
There
on.
you go.
We're liking that. We're gonna repost that one. When they say teen, they mean black. Well, I mean, did we see any white kids in there?
No,
I don't think I saw any.
played again.
Um,
I thought, okay, I wasn't even looking at race.
I wasn't
Okay,
either.
I was looking at kids. I didn't even see race.
You can't go by hair color now because of hair dye.
No,
But I
right?
don't see. I can't really see up close enough to
Here's a
determine
white
race of
kid.
everyone. Oh, there's one
Yeah,
right there. Okay, yep, there
there's
is.
another one. There's whites in there,
Okay, so this post is actually just stereotyping.
right?
Um, let's not jump to conclusions. Not see. Here's another one that didn't look close
Right,
enough.
right.
U.S. murder rate by race. See, this is where they're jumping to conclusions.
And okay, so all right, let's even play devil's advocate here and say so what they are black. We
Yeah.
live
Oh, I'm
perhaps
scrolling past. I don't want to get us in
okay.
trouble for that one meme.
Okay, so they are black. So what? They have no business being in another area, in another neighborhood, wreaking havoc with fights, robberies, and gunfire.
And
What am I
wait,
missing?
okay, here's the next question. How did a group of that many kids coordinate
Get
to
to
be in
that
the same
area.
place at the same time?
Right.
I didn't have a group of friends that big. Even house parties weren't that big.
Right.
Hell, I went to a school that had maybe 1,000 students, K through 12. The
Yeah.
whole school was 1,000 students. So, but even still, when I was at the inner city, we did not have parties like that. We did not have that many friends. Even our friends of our friends rarely would ever show up in that number. Makes you really question what more is going on. Because there's no way you're that friends with that many people.
Right. How did they all get there? If this is supposed to be the upscale area of the Naval Yard neighborhood, how did these hundreds of kids get there?
I don't know. Someone had to pay for Uber, and it don't look like any of them have jobs. Or if they do, their parents need to be maybe checking their finances better. Or are these really teenagers, or are we talking college students?
Hmm?
Hard to say. Art brings up a good point. Part of the problem is that in most blue states, controlling your children is considered child abuse. For some, it's just a no-win situation. You know what? My kid calls
Yeah, that's
CPS. As soon
true.
as I get out of
You know
jail,
what?
they're going to get it a second time.
I watched a video. I didn't get through the whole thing, but you know what's considered child abuse today? Making your
Telling your kid
child
no.
do household, telling your kid no, plus making your kid do household chores like the dishes. Uh huh.
The hell? How are they
Mm-hmm.
going to learn to take care of themselves as adults if you don't teach them to how to do the dishes and to do them
I
routinely?
I don't know.
And they got to
I'm
earn
just
their
saying.
keep for what you are putting into it. Oh, you want that video game? You better earn it by doing some extra chores.
Exactly.
Not your everyday
Exactly.
living skills. Okay, we used to call it everyday living
Above and
skills for my
beyond.
kids.
Right.
So, dishes, folding your laundry, putting your laundry to wash, washing your laundry, just that stuff is your everyday necessity. Cleaning up your bedroom,
Right.
everyday necessity. Sweeping, mopping, that's everyday necessity living skills. Cutting the grass is above and beyond. Cleaning up all
Right.
the branches that fell from the tree, raking the leaves is above and beyond.
Right.
Taking the trash out. It'd be nice if you did it for free, but I'll consider it.
Right. Yep.
That's above and beyond chores. Stuff that adults could do, but you're going to do it what the parents would normally do. See, me growing up, I don't remember my dad really ever cleaning anything in the house. And as a teenager, my mom was pretty much just staying in her bedroom all day. So it fell to me and my sister to do the housework and the yard work because my dad was trying to keep the cars running, work, and take care of my brother. So by the time he got home, I made sure the grass was cut, everything, all the trimmings were raked up because buying a bagging one was like uncalled for. So I made sure the outside stuff was done. Trash was either burned or put out to the road for the county to take. That was my everyday expected chores. Doing laundry,
Yep.
carrying it out to the line, bringing it back in, folding it, all that stuff, putting it into the proper bedroom to who it belongs to. That was on me. My sister was supposed to be in charge of sweeping, mopping, cleaning the kitchen, disinfecting the bathroom, stuff like that, and vacuuming, that kind of stuff, dusting, whatever. And I helped my dad with the cars after I was done with the yard work. Then come
Mm-hmm.
in, do my homework, eat dinner, go to bed. That was just, it was expected. You didn't ask, what do I need to do next? You just better find something to frickin' do and do it.
Exactly. Or they
Don't you
would
dare
find
come ask
something
your
for you.
parents what chore
Yep.
next.
Yep.
Most don't wash
Yep.
dishes, most use paper plates. My daughter was actually talking about doing that, is getting out of doing dishes and just to have paper plates and stuff. And actually, I just had. I'm trying to figure out how to make it to where dishes are done every single night without me having to have a shit fit. Only to find out that most of our dishes have disappeared. I guess they went to find the fiddle, the cat, the dog, the moon, the cow.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mm-hmm.
you don't know that reference, what the hell is. I guess I'm old.
Right.
So
Right.
I guess I'm really old if you guys
There's
don't know that reference.
Yep. There's art. In my household, there were the breathing in and out skills. It involved anything you had to do to keep breathing in and out, keep the lights on, etc.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. You know how many times I got my ass beat for leaving the light on in a room when I walked out? Or
Oh
leaving a
shit.
door open when I came in the house. I thought I closed it and
Yep.
I didn't. Whoo,
Mm-hmm.
buddy.
Yep.
Yup.
Here, I'll help you remember. All
Yeah.
right. What do we got next?
Oh, I'm telling you, kids. This also is with them. This is Roosevelt Field Mall.
This
Was
was in
overrun.
this is in New York. So they were overrun again. New York is continually having these malls being overrun by not only youth but regular adults, criminal enterprises, gangs, just going in and stealing. So they forced shoppers to seek safety in store changing rooms, because they were being assaulted as well. Several stores locked their doors, and this is like commonplace now. You don't know wherever you're going to go now. Why don't you hit play and let's see what this show's, Crazy B?
I can tell you for a fact, this is bullshit. Oh, the music.
Okay.
Let me mute the music so we don't get in trouble. But yeah, that's an average shift at Roosevelt Field Mall. I'm sorry.
Who wants to go to work there?
You know what I'd be doing, and if I go to hell for it, I do. Every kid, as they're starting to run through the door, my foot's going to be right out there, tripping every fucking one of them, face planting into the ground.
Mm-hmm. I probably would. I couldn't be a worker and be told to just stand by and let the place get robbed.
Oh, I'll stand by with my foot right out in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah, when you would see them standing up on the counters, kicking the cash register over, my hand would accidentally grab their ankle. You know what I mean?
Pull.
It just, I just.
And about the time you do that, someone gets hurt seriously, and then you're sued because, teaching a life lesson. Because you know what? As an adult, you can't do that shit without consequences. Right. I'm sorry. You come up at me like that, there's going to be a real consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's self-defense at that point. Where do we draw the line that it's, because you're under 18, it's no longer self-defense? Some of these kids are bigger than me. I'm sorry. I'm 5'9". I've always been tall. And there are still kids who are 6 foot or more in high school. You watch if I don't defend myself. I don't care what your age. If you are big enough to hurt me, I am defending myself.
Yeah. And police being told to stand down. That's the biggest complaint that I have with New York, California in general. We'll make generalities throughout the state that, Illinois, Chicago, look at Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Look at their, go ahead.
Well, my next question is, how are these kids communicating with each other to form such a large group?
Yes, it's got to be on social media. It's probably in the Discord somewhere.
No, probably texting a message to a friend, a friend. A lot of kids, honestly, there's Discord servers for them. But I think with the crackdown on security now, recently, they're probably using something like WhatsApp or whatever it is.
WhatsApp. Yeah, WhatsApp. Yeah.
But even still, how do you manage to know that many people? And I get it, people know people who know people, but still, you're not going to get a group this freaking big.
Right. That's why, is it something more?
I think there is something. There's adults helping coordinate, telling their kids, or encouraging some of this.
Right.
I do think there are adults somewhere doing it.
Yeah. Is it 18 and 19-year-olds? College kids, 21. And the thing is we don't get to see back in the day, you would see a list of, here's 200 people with their name and ages that were arrested. We're not seeing that. So.
Oh, no. Yeah, they try to sweep all of that under the rug. They don't want to put those kids' names out there. And, the UK started doing that because, they were minors and now they're adults. In the UK, if you commit a serious crime as a minor or even as an adult, they will give you a name change so many times before they finally stop doing it. They were actually doing it for the longest time, giving name changes to people.
In order to protect your identity.
No, it was actually to give you a chance at cleaning up your life and doing better without the background following you. But when people don't take advantage of that second start and they're on their fourth,
then
and again, have they really been habilitated? And this is again where I get where sometimes a name change, especially if you've been falsely accused and people still don't believe the evidence is like exonerating you, absolutely get a
Right.
name change. Something
Right.
like that, absolutely need a name change. But hiding these kids' identities is, and then of course sealing juvenile records sometimes is a big mistake in my opinion. I don't always agree with sealing juvenile records because it shows where it started. I have issues with it. I don't know. Maybe I'm an oddball.
I laughed out loud.
Oh, you sound like you're a way away from your phone or tablet.
No, I have not moved.
Okay,
I
it sounded like you were really far away.
Yeah, I laughed out loud.
Oh, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, it sounds like
Can
there's like background static, like electronic hum.
Nope, I don't know what you're talking about, girl.
Oh, well, you know, you're not hearing it, but I'm hearing it from my end, like an electronic interference.
Maybe it's your head buzzing.
Maybe it's the feds trying to take me out with that Savannah device
There you go.
thingy.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's
Anyway,
only when you talk that it does it. It's so bizarre.
I don't
Are
know.
you a
I was
fed?
Maybe you never know. But I was laughing because of what Vanilla said, police telling people to hide in the library, and then Blue turns around and goes, if they told them to hide in the library, what are they going to do? Read to them in jail or what? So when you're in jail, what
Read
are they
them
going to
to
do?
jail. Honestly,
Yeah,
a library is a great place to hide because most kids aren't going to go to a library these days.
right. I'm
The books
telling you,
scare them.
we're in crazy town. I'm telling you,
I know.
we
It's not unheard of. And they think, I guarantee if you ask all these kids why they did it, they're not going to give you a good answer. They're going to give
right,
you some either talking point they heard on the social media shit, or they're going to say,
right,
"Oh, a friend told me to come along. My
uh huh,
friends did. My friends did." No, that's not a
right,
reason. You
right.
start saying you're oppressed. Oh, good. Now you're going to work for free to pay off your fines at these jobs to clean up the fucking mess you made.
Yep,
Because I remember back in the day, if you trashed a store, part of your community service was going back there and cleaning up the fucking mess you made.
yep.
Like, it's
I
not
I
that
told
complicated.
well, I told you the story, where EJ was with a group of friends. They went to the movies, and
Mm-hmm.
I get a phone call from the police. They did not arrest him, but they wanted me to know that they had uh, picked him up and talked to him, hit all of his friends. Everybody left and ran, and he was the only idiot that was left standing because he didn't run. And he took a 25-cent item from a little store that I would go to. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, police officer, I want you to take him back to the station. I don't want you to hurt him, but I want you to put him through the ringer and we'll be down. So I called Eric. I said, meet me down at the police station. We went down and they had him searched. He had $25 in cash on him. He could afford that 25-cent item. He did it on a dare. And I
Really?
said to him, yeah, and I said to him, he was scared shitless because he knew that he probably was going to get his ass beat. And all I said to him was, you know what? Where are your buddies at now?
Uh-huh.
They left you. They
That's going to be
left
a
you.
good life lesson right there.
That was they left you. You're holding the bag. So we stayed there for a little bit, and then we leave the police station and we walk down the hill and we're at where my car is. And Eric had obviously his work truck, so EJ was going to ride back with me. And he goes to get in the car. I said, "Oh no, we're not going there yet." He's like, "What?" I said, "You're going down and making restitution."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "What's that?" I said, "You're going to go and pay for that item that you stole."
And
So we walked to the
apologize.
yeah. And so we walked into the store, and the manager was there, and she took us to the back room, and he handed over the 25 cents. And I he apologized and all that, and got back in the car, and he was shocked that he didn't get his ass beat. He really was. I really took him by surprise on that one.
I didn't
But
hit my kids enough. I used lessons like that.
yeah,
That was
and
how I did
well,
my kids.
he had it a couple times. Probably I could count on one hand on how many times I actually physically put my hand on him. But he was shocked, I guess, that he figured that the police were involved, that it was going to be a big to do.
No, they probably
But
threw
it
that
was,
paperwork out as soon as he left.
oh, yeah. I mean, I've been around the block. I wanted them to do the scared straight thing. You know what I
I've done
mean?
that with my daughter too.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that he knew that I meant business, as hard as it is to do things like that. It's important, I think, to build their character and for him to learn that your buddies, when it comes down to it, everybody's going to save their own ass. They ain't going to go to bat for you that you kicked somebody or oh yeah, all three of us tromped on the kid's head.
All
It's going to
three of
be
you
no,
get to go to
yeah,
trouble.
yeah, it's going to be, oh no, Dee did the most damage. She was the one kicking them and punching them. I was trying to get her to stop. Uh huh.
Not
Right.
according to the video.
Right. So it's hard to go through this stuff, but I don't
Hmm.
know.
Well, like when my
And then
daughter took off mad at me, she's walking around just blocks out of Detroit by herself. I couldn't find her. She wasn't answering her phone. We got the cops involved. They sat her
yeah,
down and they did the scared straight. People get
yep,
kidnapped, and you, if you don't have your phone, something on you for us to trace, we can't find you.
right, yep,
Don't even take off. Even if you're mad, just tell your mom you're taking off for a walk to cool off. Let her know you're going and where you plan to
hmm,
walk to. I would let her, but I need to
yep,
know where you're going and you have your phone on you.
right,
So if you're in a spot where you shouldn't be or you get taken, we can find you faster
right.
and
And
or
the other thing,
something.
yeah, and the other thing I'd say, as much as I hate the whole Big Brother bullshit and you being ID'd and all of that, I do firmly believe that kids should be fingerprinted in the event
Well,
that they
kids are
are,
different than adults.
yes,
Okay, I absolutely support Big Brother stalking the hell out of my kids and letting me know
yeah,
what's going on.
right.
I'm not going to
I'd
be everywhere.
rather,
I'd rather
right,
have like they said, that it takes a community to raise a child as long as the community is on the same morals.
right, exactly. But in the event that your child is taken or kidnapped or whatever, or something tragically happens, there's fingerprints on file that you then ultimately, hopefully, can be found or located or
Well, there's
whatever.
actually,
So,
even with the fingerprints, bodies have turned to bone before being found, and then there's DNA
yeah,
records that need to be used. Dental records
right.
change over time
Dental,
if
yep,
they've been
yep,
held against their will for so long. And,
right. Dental
there's
records is another one. Yep,
Yep.
yep,
It is scary. Now as an adult, I'm I don't want to be stalked. But for my children, I should be the main big brother spying on my kids.
yes,
But I do support putting parental controls in place, not the government's restricting the internet for everyone because a kid might do something retarded. No.
right,
The parents I put parental controls on my kids' devices. Then my kids figured out how to get around them, which made it even more complicated. But like, you know, if again, when you're a parent and you're trying to do this and you're can only be in so many places, so many things at once, you can only do so much. You cannot
hmm,
100% protect your kids from everything. Sorry,
exactly,
it's not happening.
right,
But you do what you can to mitigate the things that could impact them or hurt
right,
them.
right.
So again, nobody's perfect,
And
and
that
yes, I
includes,
absolutely believe in stalking the
yeah,
shit out of your kids online.
yeah. And that includes this whole online presence, right? Of what's going on with how does these groups get together to cause havoc like this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't understand where, as you said, Crazy B, how do they get such a large number? You know what I mean? So you
It
might
don't make
know 10.
sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. How do you get, uh, and how do they get there then? Right? How do we all, even if you say we're all going to meet at 12 o'clock at the mall, how do
Like those
y'all get
flash
there?
mobs back in the day.
Yeah, how do y'all get there?
Well, there is public busing, free subways, according to Mom Donnie, and they should be able to do what they want. And again, you could easily have that many kids living within walking distance of that mall in
Yeah,
New
that's
York
true.
City.
Right. That's not
Absolutely
un.
could have that many kids
Yeah,
living that close.
yeah,
However,
that's
how
true.
are they coordinating with each other to know to do this at this time?
Right.
Why aren't the feds looking into that? They're busy spying on everybody else. How about you head
Right.
off these kids from doing this stupid shit using
Yeah.
your stalking powers that you're not
Right.
supposed to have, but you keep
And then,
anyways?
and then the thing is even if they are being picked up, and the judges are letting them go. I mean, cripe, they're letting hardcore criminals go, that have been
Yeah.
convicted multiple times. So, these kids are getting a slap on the wrist. This is a rush for them. And so you can see how stuff then gets perpetuated. I
Mm-hmm.
just, how do we prevent it? We're causing delinquents for the future.
Yeah.
You know,
Um.
when you encounter even things as simple as the situation with Jake on the bus and the kid that's bullying him, that's choking him, where does that get to be a right that you get to lay hands on somebody else?
But you know what's
You know?
wild is that's happening at his school. But at my niece's school, she can't jokingly call her friend an idiot without risking getting in trouble for
Oh,
bullying.
that's right. I forgot about that. That's right. Why don't you bring that up? What's going on there?
Yeah, can't even jokingly name call people. My friends, man, we would have all been kicked out and suspended, calling each other assholes and all the other things we did
Uh huh.
that I can't repeat online. No, you can't even jokingly call someone an idiot or tell them to shut up because that's considered bullying in her school. I'm like, and she's like, she was trying to say like, oh, bullying's been so much worse than when you were a kid. I'm like, girl, when I was your age, I had classmates sent to the hospital from getting the shit kicked out of them
Hmm.
in school.
Right.
Oh, sweetheart, you guys are being sissified. You're not going to have thick skin. The first time someone calls you a name as an adult, you're going to crumble.
Uh huh. You'll be crying in the corner.
I
Yep.
don't like that. I don't like that the schools are doing this.
Yeah. Right.
This is like
You're gonna.
insane level
Yeah.
overprotection.
Right. But yet, for the serious shit that's going down, like in these cases, nothing's being done.
Yeah.
You're going to get suspended because she calls somebody an idiot for 3 days, but yet go ahead and cause a riot.
Well, this
And
isn't happening on school premises, so the schools really can't do anything about it.
yeah,
But what's happening to your grandson is
no,
absolutely on
I
school
do.
premises and
Hold
school
on a minute.
property.
Hold on a minute, because isn't there something with the, oh man, I'd have to go back and look. I want to say there's something, but I'm talking years ago. I don't know what it is currently, but truancy and the truancy officers
Oh, yeah.
used to,
Yep.
remember, they used to be able to be even outside of the school, and your
Yes.
behavior outside could reflect on
Oh,
what happened,
yes. Yep.
right? Am I is that
Nope,
correct?
nope. I was one who had to be aware of the truancy officers for smoking on the weekends and outside the corner store down in town. Though they still have truancy officers down here where I live, and
Hmm.
they are strict. They are very strict in this state. Unless you are homeschooling, absolute truancy officers are everywhere. And you don't recognize them like we used to.
Okay.
No, they're
So
everywhere down here.
I want to say, I think they kind of converted to be more or less having nowadays having to do with if you miss too many classes, like they're more like attendance takers almost. It seems like I
They
don't even
send
know. If,
truancy officers if you have it, like at our school, in our district, if you're not in school for 3 days in a row, they don't have a note from your teacher, they're not finding you, or you miss too many unexcused absences, you will absolutely have a truancy officer knocking on your door.
okay,
Yes.
so I wonder if the truancy officers can play any part into this at all. I don't know. It's been so long. That just popped in the back of my head. It's
Nope.
been so long
Oh
since.
yeah.
Okay.
Nope, they still
Okay.
exist, and
Well,
however, they're not called out as often as they used to be. Like playing hooky, cut in
okay.
class. You know, you're at the morning classes, but you're not in the afternoon, or you show up late,
Right.
and you just kind of
Afternoon.
sneak in
Right.
through the back door through the gym when someone in
Right.
class is opening it for you.
Opening it
Oh,
for you. Yep.
the back door of the locker rooms. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yep. No, but back in my day, if even if you are 18 and smoking on school property, because back in the day the legal age to smoke was 18, you could absolutely get a
Okay.
truancy ticket. You could get a truancy ticket.
Okay.
Yes, and then you had to show up to court and deal with that truancy ticket. Yep. If you're anywhere, even
Wow.
on the weekends, you're smoking on the weekends, you're underage, you're getting a truancy ticket.
Yeah,
I.
that's what I thought. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what how they factor into what's going on today. So
Well,
it's just a
mostly today
question.
it's if the kids, like, well, at least in my area, if like they're the schools threatened to send a truancy officer after at a family member because there were too many unexcused absences,
Okay.
and this is an extended family member. Actually, there
Yeah.
was never a marriage; they just broke up, and they have kids together. So I know about the situation with the other kids afterwards. But
Right.
no, kids were not even registered to go to school. But take them to the pediatrician. Why aren't they in school? That
Right.
raises some red flags. They're now
Hmm.
6, missed kindergarten and first grade, almost 7, and what? Yeah, no, there's a lot of concern, and if there's a concern of like that with the doctor's office and they suspect you're lying about homeschooling, they will absolutely send a truancy officer to check on your kids and social services. Oh yeah,
Right.
controlling your
Okay.
classroom is an
So
issue in some of the blue states, which is why I refuse to teach high school auto shop. Yeah.
yeah, and then he also says they had to send a couple of kids to the ER in his day. However, he'd like to consult with his attorney before he says anything further. Go ahead
Yep.
and make that consultation, Art, because now our curiosity is piqued. We want to know what's going on.
Well,
He
my
also
best
says,
friend's brother, and when I was in third grade, my best friend's brother was sent to the hospital with serious broken bones, concussion, and swelling of the brain from a school fight.
wow, oh yeah. He also says the only thing that really gets me are the people who give up DNA to 23andMe or whoever. Yeah, that I had Eric bought me one of the 23andMe's, and that has been sitting on my shelf for probably 10 years now. And
Now, you do know
uh,
23andMe has also been working with local police departments to help solve
crime,
unsolved
yeah,
crimes and missing
unsolved, right,
Jane Doe's, John Doe's from over the
yeah,
years. They have solved quite a few using DNA to get a family tree
right,
and send remains home. There is some
right,
good to it, but some bad to it.
right. And then there's also the whole thing of they really use some dog's DNA, so,
And yeah,
there's
that was
that.
really funny. They still sent him back this
Uh-huh,
whole profile of something,
yep,
and it was a freaking dog's saliva.
uh-huh, uh-huh. So go figure.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got for us?
Um, what's up next? Oh, this
Oh, yeah.
one.
Yeah, this is good, isn't it? Go ahead,
Because
you
there
can
are
read
no
it.
illegals voting and no one who's not an American citizen
Yeah,
voting. Except
I'll
this
have to
British
send
and
that.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll send that to my group, right? My
except
group of
a
friends.
yep, this British
Go ahead.
citizen on a green card who voted in the 2024 presidential, Senate, and House elections.
Oh,
Yeah.
but it was only one out of
No, because
14
there was that
million.
Palestinian guy who just voted, or no, Pakistani guy who voted too, like 7 times over the last 7 elections. And then
Or
I'm sure there's
look at
more.
look at Art's comment. I never heard that before, but
As my
I'll
dad
go for
said to
that.
a VP in high school, at least Art didn't send him home in an ice cube tray. My mom had all she could do. My mom had all she could do to not laugh. Yeah. Oh, yep.
Yep.
Yep. That's what my
So
dad would have said too.
yeah, so this is a push for the Save Act. Is there any sound to this one?
Yes,
Let's
The
this
see.
is an
British
actual news
national
article.
now faces federal
Okay, go ahead.
charges after he's accused of illegally voting in the 2024 general election in Harris County, despite not being a U.S. citizen. ABC 13's Sarah Al-Sheikh looked into how he was able to get registered in the first place. New at 10.
Federal investigators say a British man knowingly broke U.S. election law. According to court documents, Samuel James Hall, described as a non-U.S. citizen, is accused of voting in the 2024 general election, casting a ballot in races for president, vice president, Senate, and the House of Representatives, despite allegedly knowing he was not eligible to vote. The Harris County Tax Assessor, Collector, and Voter Registrar's Office tells ABC 13 it first learned Hall was on the voter rolls last June, 7 months after the election. Officials say they notified him and that Hall then canceled his own registration. The registrar says he was removed from the voter rolls and is not currently registered to vote in Harris County. Writing in a statement, quote, "As this is an ongoing investigation, we are unable to share more at this time and remain committed to ensuring that the voter registration rolls are up to date and that only eligible citizens are enrolled and part of the process."
It should be a yearly update.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Hire temp workers, staff workers, whatever, put them on a special project and have that shit cleaned up in a week. Every year.
Yep. Although, I don't know, do we even trust a temp worker? Because
At this
who's going
point,
to
I
be the
trust
temp?
temp workers more than I do American blue-haired whatevers that make my
Yeah, this
style
is
look
true.
bad.
This is true.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
I would take a temp worker over my style that was hijacked.
There you go.
Okay,
There you
let's
go.
finish
All right.
playing. Just,
Okay.
oh my
Go ahead.
God. I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's fine.
ABC 13 asked how Hall was able to register to vote in the first place, since that is the key issue, but we have not gotten that answer.
You're never
Last
going to
year,
get
the
that
Texas
answer. They're going to
Secretary
hope you
of
sleep it
State
under the
says
rock.
it identified
Uh-huh.
33 people who may have illegally voted out of nearly 11.4 million ballots cast in that
33
election.
more
33
people.
votes, ultimately not enough
Yeah.
to change the outcome of.
It doesn't matter whether it's enough to change the outcome or not. It's still illegal. Fix
Right.
it.
Again, it's just 33 people out of 13 million.
33
Or
people in that
14 million.
area.
Yeah.
Now,
Is
if
it
there's
really that
33
big?
people in every single county across the nation, it does add up.
Okay. If you
And
say
it
so.
could make a difference, whether they like to admit it or not. Oh my God. Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, what?
The snow plow's coming down, which means we got at least 3 inches on the ground. I'll bet you. Oh no, school's going to be canceled. I'll have both kids tomorrow.
They cancel
again.
school for 3 inches of snow? Shit.
Oh well, with the wind. Remember, with the wind and the trees being down,
Yeah, but
we're
in
in
our
that
area, they didn't give two
I
shits.
know.
The bus driver found a
I
way
know.
around. The kids hopped
I
over
know.
the tree, got on the bus, and the bus driver
Yep.
backed up and went around.
Girl, you're preaching to the choir here. This is,
The bus driver
this applies.
radios in, we're going to be delayed. There's a tree, or there's flooding. We
Yep.
got to go around. We're going to be delayed.
Uh-huh.
And then they radio
Yep.
when they're back on course. And
No, not here.
Really?
No.
Lazy motherfuckers.
Probably a message already saying, oh, the trees were done. The wind was so bad over the weekend. Yeah, they canceled school today because of it. And said that they would probably be on modified schedule till Wednesday because of the weather. And now they were calling for snow this morning, and I told you we got 1.5 inches. There's probably more out there, but we got 1.5 inches in an hour. So
if it keeps going at this rate, you'll have about 7 or 8 inches, 9 inches by morning. If it keeps going at the same rate.
Of it. Okay, I'm sick of it. I'm done.
And Art wants to add in to this video, people they are willing to admit voted illegally. The real number is an open question.
True. That's true. It's probably like 13.5 million were illegal. Anyway. All right, what do we got next?
The anti-Sharia Law caucus is gaining members.
Yes. I was going to add this. I'll add this with the other illegal, the other Islam pieces, but I wanted everybody to be aware that we talked last week that Chip Roy was introducing a bill to ban Sharia law in the United States. And so there's a new caucus within the House of Representatives called the Anti-Sharia Law Caucus. It is now the fastest growing group in Congress. The movement is to ban Sharia law. It has over 50 members after the Islamic terror attacks recently occurred. And this is one of the representatives. If you want to hit play on that, Crazy B.
What should happen in Congress? What do you recommend? What bills are on the floor? Chip Roy is on here talking about the Pause Act with regularity. What bills do you support in order to end this madness? Because, of course, as we have documented time and time again over the last couple of weeks, we have imported every attack in 2026 was somebody who we brought here at great expense to come here and kill us. It's just suicidal immigration ideology.
Oh, it's idiotic and suicidal. There's a variety of legislation that I support. The Pause Act is one of them. Anti-Sharia legislation is one of them. Congressman Ogles unveiled some legislation last week that we're digging into now. The overriding framework, I think, should be to drastically reduce immigration. Of course, illegal immigration, but also legal immigration, and put serious stipulations on who can actually come into the country under any circumstances, making sure that you do not have any allegiance to any foreign government. You don't have any allegiance to any terrorist organization. And ideally, and I think you should be assimilable into American culture, be somebody who can become American. And there are certain ideologies and worldviews that are unassimilable. So I think that should be the basic framework. Again, the purpose of our immigration system is to benefit the American people. There's no other reason it exists. We have no obligation to bring in anybody from any part of the globe. And that's just a basic fundamental principle. And it's amazing how far we've strayed away from that.
Yes, right. That made some that hit my timeline this weekend. The anti-Sharia legislation. Just really quickly in closing, what's the status on that?
Yeah, that's something that it has quite a few co-sponsors now. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I'm part of the anti-Sharia caucus in Congress. I think we have over 50 members now, all Republicans. That's quite big for a caucus like that. So it is growing. I think that every Republican at least recognizes that, especially over the past 2 weeks, the threat of Islamic terror within the United States is very real, and it is killing our people. So you are seeing a growing movement here of support from across the Republican conference for bills like this.
I am still struggling since we started this crazy bee of just exactly what you know, in any company, you see what the list of values are, what the list of, what they
I know.
mean when they say, you know, being able to assimilate into the culture. What exactly is the culture of America? What is it that the expectation is? You know, when
Well,
you say
again,
what
it
it is
depends who you
to
talk
be in
to.
exactly. But there should be some type of consensus of
Well, if you
some
go back to the
ideal,
50s and 60s, there's absolutely consensus across the United States.
right?
Then the
Right?
idiots started bringing communism over, and the idiots in college started falling for it, and it just went to shit.
Yeah. Do you see us being able to get back to? Okay, so if you're saying that there's something available from the 50s or 60s, can we come up with that list and be able to provide it?
Well, I don't
What
think there
we
was
think
ever
that
an
it?
actual documented list,
No,
but just in
I'm
general, what
asking.
people found to be American.
Yes, yes,
I'm
that's
pretty
what I
sure
want to
American
create.
values. It's like, you know,
Yeah,
you hear people say God, family, country in that
yes,
order.
right.
That would be considered an
So,
American value because that's what it would
okay,
have absolutely been. God first, family comes second, then your country and everything else underneath
right.
it.
So
So,
I want to be able to create some type of list that says that and just start adding to it so that when we have discussions surrounding what our values are, that they might not be the correct terminology or whatever, but I'd like to start, and people that are in the chat or people on the Discord, if you have any ideas that you'd like to see,
oh,
it doesn't
Art
have.
actually said there's the culture of America is contained in the Federalist Papers. I haven't read those since middle school.
Yeah, I
Fuck if
haven't.
I'll dig
I
them out. I'll dig
yeah.
some out.
Okay. So I'm trying to get some actual documentation that, you know, we would be able to say, you know, because when you talk, we all have varying opinions, but I'd like to get a generality that if you were a foreigner, you know, applying to seek asylum, to seek, you know, citizenship, whatever it is. In fact, you know, I do have that whole project I kind of have sat to the wayside about citizenship and all of that. I could dig through some of those books and see
Hold
if
on.
it
I'm
contains
Googling it right
anything.
now. So
Okay.
according to the now this is a I'm giving you the heads up. It's an AI
Right.
summary.
Okay.
The American values are to establish a stronger, united republic that secures liberty, fosters prosperity, and maintains public order through through a representative government. Key values:
That
fostering national unity, um, protecting against foreign dangers, and ensuring safety through balance of energetic government and republican liberty.
okay.
Republic
So
of virtue, so morals and responsibility of the citizens, self-government and balance, which we pretty much threw out the fucking window during World War II, um, and security against factions. Federalist number 10 highlights the importance of managing mischief and of factions, particularly those arising from unequal distribution of property and fostering an extended public republic that promotes the general good over local interests. So the exact opposite of what's happening right now.
right. All right. Will you send that over to me?
Yeah, I'll send it
And
over.
you know, I'd like to come up with a more, uh,
Well, they
what's
do
the
have an
word?
exact, more or less an exact list. The
Yeah,
entire Federalist
but
Papers are the list.
right, but I'd like to maybe update it to be, you know, like,
I forgot about that. I really did
yeah,
forget the Federalist Papers existed until you just brought it up, Art.
I know. I haven't thought about them and I can't. When's the last time that I even heard? It's been quite a while since I've heard
He
about the
actually
Federalist
just commented
Papers.
it becomes about freedom from the government, minimum government, and freedom to live your life as you see fit while respecting the rights of others to do the same.
Right.
Yes.
But I'm also I want to drill it down though to when you think of things like, apple pie and football and whatever terminology that we're using to describe the culture of America. It just isn't about the Federalist Papers. There's still a culture that we have. Is it, music? Is it healthcare? Is it whatever? There's got to be some.
Well, it's become a melting pot over the generations because we've blended so many cultures without problem for the most part for centuries. I mean, there isn't a country on this planet that doesn't have someone living in America.
Right. Yeah, so, we have 180. There's 185 countries that are here illegally.
But I'm talking legally over the years.
Yeah. Right.
There are people who got away from North Korea and live here.
Right.
There are people from Vietnam. There are people from Laos. There are people from all over Africa. There are people from all over Europe, parts of Russia that I've never even heard of.
Mm-hmm.
They are part of America now. And I'm talking ones who actually want to be Americans, not like that Somali community, that fucking idiot bullshit.
Right.
There are people from Somalia who are absolutely assimilated to America and not doing crimes like that.
Right.
So, it's like, it's hard to explain the American culture without pointing out how it's a mixing pot. It's a melting pot.
But there still are some things that are
strictly American. Well, Ford, GM, Chrysler, baseball.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Right. The hot dog. I mean, what?
Well, actually, hot dogs started off in other countries. They were brought to America, and then we just claimed them.
I understand that, Crazy Bee, but we still took it to be our own, to be American.
So we did a cultural assimilate. What was that? we stole their culture. Appropriation. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to kind of drill that down and make that into some type of list that, I hear about our culture. I hear about what our ethics and our values and all that are. You hear the left say it, you hear the right say it. They use that word, but they never say specifically what it is they mean by the value.
Okay.
What is the value?
We just read what the Federalist Papers worded it as. But for American values through study.com, they threw diversity in there and equality. Well, everyone is equal. We're equally human. We all have to abide by the same laws with the same consequence, supposedly.
Right.
Diversity, well, what the fuck else has America ever been? We've always been diverse. I mean, even going back to the Native American cultures, they have been vastly diverse.
Yes.
And they fought over it. But we're going to leave that up. We can't talk about that because then we'll get in trouble,
Right.
Yeah. Bullshit. So, I mean, diversity was just a given for America back in the day. That didn't have to be specifically labeled as diversity.
Right.
It's the right to be yourself and respect others' right to do the same.
Correct.
That doesn't mean that's not diversity in the way they use it these days.
Right.
You're allowed to be yourself. And you're also allowed to go fuck you off in that corner over there where I just don't give a shit about you. It's my choice whether I give a shit about you or not.
Right.
Your feelings do not impact my very existence as much as my feelings don't impact yours. So fuck off about it. I mean, you don't care about my feelings, but I'm expected to care about yours?
Correct.
No. So there's, again, this, it's like, they've twisted the wording to absolutely fit a narrative.
Yes. And that's what I want to try to do. is untwist it, or at least try
Well,
to
the best way
feather
to
it out
untwist it
onto,
is go to the libraryofcongress.gov and look at the
right,
original papers.
right. But the problem is nobody's looking at the original documents.
Yeah, well,
They,
I
I
haven't looked
guarantee
at those
you,
since
I
middle
mean,
school.
yeah, how
Fuck.
many people you think a Jasmine Crockett has looked at the Federalist Papers?
No.
I'll bet you $1 she's never even probably heard of the Federalist Papers.
Yep.
Just
Oh,
saying.
I found the 1787 to 1788. It's looks like, yeah, it's Alexander Hamilton, 279 pages PDF.
Okay.
I'll share that to you as well.
All right. Thank you. All right. Well, it's getting to be about 9:30ish, and
Oh
before we
shit! Yes,
go,
it is.
yeah, I want to bring up that our 1 year anniversary is going to be on April the 8th. And I forgot to look at what day of the week that was. I think it's Monday, if I recall correctly.
Yes, I believe it was a
It's
Monday.
Monday. So Monday, April 8th, we're going to do a little recap of the year, but we're also going to have a little giveaway. We're going to give away 2 $10 Amazon gift cards. And the way that you will enter will be via the Discord. Crazy Bee will set up a little program. If you would like to enter, you would just click on the yes button.
If not,
And we
just
will have,
don't, and we'll be okay.
yes, and yep, you don't have to. You're under no obligation. But if you're interested, we will have an event little schedule there, and click yes if you're interested, and then we will pull names out of the hat on April the 8th.
Will there be
And
bourbon? According to Art, will there be bourbon?
I don't know if I could get it for $10 or not, but if I
I don't know if we
I'll
could ship
give
it
to you.
across state lines.
Yeah, we can. So, and then if you're the winner, all you'll need to do is provide me with your address, and I'll have that sent out to you the next day. So we'll keep that promotion going for maybe every other day. We'll bring it up. So thank you for joining Rex Sisters. Please don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe.
Yep.
We appreciate your support, and that's it for me.
I'm
It's
gonna
time
just
for bed.
do my usual of stay safe, stay sane, attempt to stay sober. I don't expect it, but it would, try. And as always, we'll catch y'all on the next one.
All right. See you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Have a good night, folks.